Look at any global summit, and the rules of the room are incredibly strict. To get a seat at the table, to secure international recognition, forge treaties, and protect your staff, you have to prove you are a legitimate country. Those rules are codified in the 1961 Vienna Convention, which expects states to have physical borders and a permanent population. Article 1's definitions determine who gets legal immunity and who carries the weight of a recognized state. But right in the middle of the United Nations General Assembly sits an entity that breaks every one of these rules. It holds permanent observer status and maintains active diplomatic relations with 114 different countries, despite having no territory at all. It is the Sovereign Military Order of Malta. It has 13,500 members, its citizenry is exactly 3 people, and its landmass is 0. This medieval Catholic order managed to navigate international law so effectively that it commands the rights reserved for a sovereign nation. To find their physical foothold, you have to go to Rome. This is the Villa del Priorato di Malta, a walled compound sitting on the Aventine Hill. When you step past this plaque, Italian sovereignty ends. The Italian government legally recognizes this compound as an extraterritorial seat, meaning the order has complete jurisdiction inside. Operating from this enclave, they produced the tangible artifacts of statehood. They mint their own recognized currency, the scudo, and issue their own sovereign passports, complete with full diplomatic immunity. They even maintain a military presence. Working alongside the Italian army, the order operates a 28-car hospital train that travels across Europe flying its own foreign, stateless flag. Passports, active currency, and military assets are the machinery of a functioning state. They operate in plain sight, proving their sovereignty is intensely practical. They didn't start out as a ghost state. Founded in 1099, the Knights Hospitaller were a traditional, land-holding military power. Over several centuries, they ruled a succession of island fortresses. They commanded a massive naval fleet and governed territory across Cyprus, Rhodes, and eventually the island of Malta. That geographic control collapsed in 1798. Napoleon Bonaparte invaded Malta and violently ejected the order from their fortress, ending their centuries of island rule. By 1815, the Congress of Vienna formalized this loss. Their exile was made permanent, and their lands were signed away to other powers. Under normal geopolitical rules, losing your entire territory erases your sovereignty. Without land, a nation usually ceases to exist. Instead of dissolving, the order relocated to Rome in 1834 and executed a strategic pivot. They abandoned territorial warfare and doubled down on their original 11th century mission, providing specialized medical care. In a world where territorial sovereignty is tied to geographic borders, the order anchored its existence to functional sovereignty. They shifted their legal status from a specific place to a specific global mission. Superpowers accepted this move because it was useful. A neutral, stateless entity with diplomatic protections could provide medical relief across enemy lines without triggering a larger conflict. By shedding the vulnerability of physical borders while defending their right to representation, the order used international law to ensure its own survival. Today, that strategy operates through Malteser International. Active in 120 countries, this global relief corps leverages diplomatic immunity to bypass the borders that stop traditional NGOs. Because they belong to no specific country, their sovereign status grants them access to disaster zones and conflicts where state-affiliated actors are often blocked. But that stateless sovereignty is also vulnerable. In 2017, a massive internal clash over a charitable project in Myanmar triggered a constitutional crisis that threatened their very independence. The dispute led to an unprecedented intervention by Pope Francis. He forced the Grand Master to resign and took direct control of the leadership, testing the exact boundaries of the order's sovereign status. It proved that their sovereignty is not a permanent fact, but a fragile legal construct, constantly tested by religious loyalty and political pressure. The Sovereign Military Order of Malta survived a total medieval collapse by evolving into a diplomatic entity that holds a seat at the UN despite owning no land. Geopolitical influence can operate entirely detached from physical ground. For this order, the ultimate strategic advantage is the ability to be present everywhere, because they are legally from nowhere.